It's a Friday night at 8 p.m. and the only place that you could possibly be is right here on Trendz Live, SABC News Channel 404. My name is Kansani Koza, but by now you should know that you can call me Candy. I'm wanting you just to come a little bit doozy so we can keep you warm tonight. From all things lifestyle, arts, culture, travel and entertainment is what you can expect tonight. But first up, 30 Mrs. South Africa hopefuls came one step closer to realizing their dreams during the pageant's 2024 semi-finalist showcase and finalist sashing ceremony. The activities were brought out by the night's theme of butterflies, encapsulated in the hashtags "Your wings are ready" and "Your time is now." Producer Noni Kumalo attended the lively showcase to find out the hidden talents of those in attendance. Let's get on the show on the road.
An incredible night out in Johannesburg, celebrating moms and wives at the Mrs. South Africa Showcase. Today we get to see all the talent, but what's even more interesting is we get to ask our guests what their hidden talent is. If you want to find out, then you definitely want to come along with me. Let's go!
Mrs. South Africa represents every woman in South Africa. It is not a beauty pageant. It's not just about putting on a dress and dancing on stage. It is about women in South Africa, particularly married women, finding themselves, growing, developing, becoming the best version of themselves. And the theme this year is "Your Wings Are Ready," because it's all about self-transformation and coming out of their cocoon.
So Marlene, what can we expect from the showcase?
A lot of dancing, a lot of singing. We have the Mzansi Youth Choir here tonight as well. And our MC is the talented Ilana Africa Broederstroom.
So I'm a married woman myself, and I have 4 kids, and I love my children. And you know what? Together with family comes empowerment, and together with empowerment comes changing people's lives. And the reason we have children actually is because we know that you and every other child in this world can change the world for good. And what better way to celebrate it by giving moms a night out and celebrating their family, their spouses, themselves, and call them Mrs. South Africa. I always say I'm not Mrs. South Africa, I'm Mrs. Africa.
Let's chat to the reigning queen.
Wow, so I actually love being on stage. It's so much fun. The adrenaline, it was so much fun. And I just remember taking it all in, you know, how the stage feels under my feet, what the air smells like, what the air feels like on against my skin. So I think it's so important, and I wish for the ladies this evening for them to take it in and be present. Be present in the nerves. Don't let the nerves take over. Be present. Let the nerves propel you to be your best on stage tonight.
I love that. Just speaking about opportunities and all the doors that have opened for you. And it's no secret that Mrs. South Africa is all about beauty and the brains, but it's also about the talents. What is your hidden talent, ma'am?
Not a lot of people know this about me, and there's going to be a special act on stage tonight. The Mzansi Youth Choir are going to be joining us on stage. And guess who used to be the head chorister of Mzansi Youth Choir?
No.
Yes, the queen herself. So not a lot of people know about my singing abilities, but it's there somewhere.
So now obviously I can't let you leave without a few lines or two. Can you give it to us?
Something inside so strong, I know that I can do it.
Before you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone.
I have many hidden talents, and you know what's wonderful? A talent doesn't have to be massive or big. I have a talent to make people smile. I just did it.
That's very clever. I was hoping you'd say you can sing, Ilana. Sing something for me.
I'm sure I could sing. Welcome to Mrs. South Africa. You know what? My talents aren't here. I play instruments, okay? Next time I'll bring my piano.
Well, I can tell you what it certainly is not. And I don't sing, I don't dance, but I love to sing and dance. So it's a bad problem in my household. My children are like, oh, Mom, please stop, Mom, please.
We had so much fun at the Mrs. South Africa showcase. If you ever thought of entering but are a little hesitant, here are some reasons why evenings like these are so important and why you deserve the spotlight too.
I think it's so important because, you know, once we get married, once we have children, we kind of settle into our roles. And I think something like this, you know, really breaks out of our comfort zone, especially if you are a little bit more introverted. I think it gives you that chance to really shine and to really step into your dreams. And once you become so confident, then you actually take that into the boardroom, you take that into every aspect of your life. And I think doors just open for you.
You know, I think when you start to really believe in yourself again, when you start to see, when you start to feel this difference, you know it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. And it did. It takes grit and it takes determination, and it's not easy, but then nothing in life is easy. You know, the Comrades Marathon isn't easy, and there is only going to be one winner of it, and yet thousands of people enter that every year. And why? For personal victories. And that's something that as women it's so important to do. You know, there's life skills in here, there's brand building, there's community initiatives. It's so much more than just a beauty pageant. It's not about what you look like, it's about what you stand for. The hashtag this year is your time is now. And that's exactly it. You know, telling women your time is now. Stand up, believe in yourself, do more for yourself, because if you do more for yourself, you can do more for your family and your community.
Ladies and gentlemen, your top city for Mrs. South Africa 2024.
So it just hit me. The only way I could ever be on Mrs. South Africa is if I got a husband. But don't worry, we're working on it. We're working on it. Guinness World Record holder and multi-award winning artist Percy Maimela has proven that where creativity is concerned, there are no limits to what you can create and how to create a masterpiece. From experimenting with coffee grounds to creating world-class portraits using just salt, as in litswayi. So we wanted to find out what drives his passion for art, and once again, he owned the moment. Buleng Mulubati made up with him to show us how. Take a look.
An epitome of star power, Percy Maimela effortlessly creates world-class portraits that are timeless and majestic. But it is not the pieces themselves that sets him apart from other industry giants, but the medium that he uses to create these artworks often draws attention to his creative streak. The Winterfeld born and raised virtuoso treated us to a mini tour of his neighborhood and a quick bite at a kota spot before our one-on-one experience with him.
Okay, we found the guy. We are in Soshanguve today where he resides. Do not stalk him. We saw him on social media. We saw him at the inauguration. We also saw him on one of our sister channels, or program rather. But today he's with us. He's trending today. If he's not trending yet, we're going to make him even more trendier than he already is. It's Mr. Salt himself. It's Percy Maimela. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Awesome.
And who are you when you're not making those incredible artworks using salt? What do you like?
Obviously, Kasi, but Kasi and seeing the surroundings is also one of the motivations. Now you just made me buy kota, which is nice as well.
I think the question that everybody wants to know and that everybody asks themselves when they see your work is, why salt? And how did you discover that you can actually use salt to make artworks?
Okay, so I discovered the salt when I was working as a merchandiser. I was doing Pick and Pay and ShopRite. I was a merchandiser, so from Nestle. So this other day, I went to a storeroom just 30 minutes before lunch. And then when I got to the storeroom, I saw a bag of salt that was scattered on the floor. So normally what we do is that we dispose of the salt. So before I did that, I saw the magic moment, and then I decided to play with that salt.
Every day you would go to work with, I'm gonna try this today with the salt. But then did you do that in public where everybody else can see you, or you snuck away at the back there in between your lunch break and said, I'm gonna experiment some more?
The first day I did it, so I think a few of my colleagues came to the storeroom and then they were surprised. So I thought it was going to be a bad thing, but they were actually amazed of what I was doing. Then I started like practicing with all of this, the spices, sugar, but then I went back to salt because it was more easier. It feels more like a ritual in a way, like it's a spiritual thing. Logistically, it's easier to do because, let's say for example, I went to Dubai for an event. I didn't bring any artworks. The only thing that I asked for was for them to give me a salt and then some of the sand from obviously Dubai's desert. So I just took whatever is around, sand and salt, and then I made like something magical.
Also quite interesting to know that you actually use other mediums as well to create artwork. So you're a fine artist, but the salt is the particular medium that has brought all the attention to you. Now, the moment where you were invited to create the portrait that you did at the inauguration this year, how were you discovered and what was that like?
I quite like the stage, so I felt like I belonged there. But how I was discovered, I've been doing a lot of works with Department of Arts and Culture. They've been calling me for some of the events where the president is doing speeches and stuff. I went to Union Building for the same thing. I went to Cradle of Humankind for the same thing, and then this was the biggest stage that I actually got. So I think they already noticed by the talent. It's just giving it exposure. Yes, I think that's, yes.
People don't know this. I actually just found out offline that you have been in so many events where President Ramaphosa was part of that particular event, but you've never met the man.
No, I've never met him. So normally, if I would be painting here, he would be rerouted to the other passage. I don't know how come, but I believe that there's a particular moment that I'm going to have to meet him, and then for a particular goal.
How has the spaces and the platforms that you have been a part of transformed your life and yourself as an artist?
The biggest event that that has changed like the direction of like how I grew is it has to be Guinness World Record. When I got the Guinness World Record, for that I had to use coffee grounds and then make like the biggest artwork of DJ Black Coffee, I think 5 meter by 5 meter. After that, then it quantified, or it made it easier to recognize me as a professional artist than just to see me as a guy who's drawing the Popeye and then that's it. So when I say I'm an artist, a Guinness World Record holding artist, you realize that I'm taking this as far as possible.
Wait, Nana. So when you see something, when you see anything, you're just like, I wonder if I can make artwork out of this.
So for me, when even looking at you, like I'm seeing like all the toes.
Whose face are you making today? I didn't even ask you.
Well, let's see if we can make you there.
Yeah, okay. You're not sure?
Well, I'm quite sure. Well, I can. I'm not sure if you want me to.
Yeah. I mean, look at this face. I'm ready.
Definitely. I'll just need more extra salt because of
The feeling of suspense as you witness the granules bring to life the image is priceless. Feels performative, like a theatrical showcase. Percy often creates his artworks in public to give his fans an insight into the magic of boundless creativity. And this was nothing short of magic. Oh, what a time to be alive.
No, but Babang Basana Bopuleng are so lucky. Imagine getting artwork done for you by a Guinness World Record holder. Yeah. Anyway, from Mrs. South Africa to creating art with salt, we've got everything spice and nice here on the show. For now, though, we're going to take a quick ad break. And when we come back, we still have so much more in store for you. So please don't move. Trendz Live, we'll be back. And just like that, we've returned. There's something new and exciting for families to do in Rosebank, Johannesburg. This edutainment concept is one that has reached our shores and offers a range of playful exhibitions, eye-catching visual experiences, educational displays, and optical illusions to fascinate all ages. Sounds like a selfie lover's dream, right? Our producer, Refula Matela, caught up with the team to understand this unique experience. Please be aware, the story does contain visual effects that may be harmful to viewers with photosensitivities, so viewer discretion is advised. But for Trendz Live, it's on to the next.
A sense of adventure overcomes one in spaces like the Museum of Illusions. Joburg's hottest attraction features distortion of the senses and how our minds are constantly at work processing information through sight.
Well, the museum was actually developed in 2015 by two young guys in Croatia. Our company's Croatian-based. And I went there when they had just opened up as a guest, and I really loved it. And I contacted them and said, guys, how can we cooperate on this? And then I started up a master franchising company, and we're doing the franchising in this part of the world.
So I was on a trip to Dubai with my family, and I was looking for something to do, and I saw the Museum of Illusions, and I thought, let me try it, it'll be fun for the kids. And when I tried it, I realized it's actually so much fun, not just for the kids, but for me and my whole family. We really enjoyed it, and the friends we were with, and I thought, wow, this would be really great in Johannesburg.
So we like to say that we're a 21st century museum, or we're not your father's museum. And we like to say we're 1 part education, 3 parts fun. So when people come here, they get to interact with the exhibits, they become part of the exhibit, like we are here. It's great for taking pictures, it's great for making memories with your friends and with your families. This is our famous Ames room. And the Ames room is developed by Mr. Ames many years ago, but we've perfected it for the Museum of Illusions. And we'll see in a minute, as we move, one of us will look much taller, much shorter than they actually are. And that's what the illusion is doing here.
Simple yet complex concepts are utilized in this space to stimulate your senses and alter the world around you.
What's going on here? I feel a little bit disorientated, a little bit dizzy.
Yes. So our mind is tricked, actually.
Yeah.
So you know how you walk down the street, so your brain is actually working all the time. It's scanning your surroundings.
Yes.
So your brain tells you like, oh, the street is flat, you should walk straight, and buildings, trees, and everything. So you kind of have a reference point, right? Mm-hmm. So here the walls are tilted, and you don't have that reference point. I'm sorry. So this is why you feel dizzy and a little bit nauseous. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. But that's all the fun.
From Shanghai, Dubai, New York, Milan, and now Johannesburg, this is a proven treat for all ages and backgrounds.
I just felt like a kid again when I stepped in here, and for us as a couple, we came up here to celebrate a birthday, and this was one on the bucket list. This is something that we have never seen before or experienced, so this was a must for us that we had to just tick off. And also, we have a family, we have family members, children that wants to see these things. They don't have the opportunity that we have. And so we basically just here to spread the message or to show them our experience through visuals and, you know, through the images and the videos that we took here today. And I believe that we will be back here very soon, definitely.
It's been amazing because when we started, we had no idea what was going to happen. It was a startup company, and this is now our 54th museum globally, and we've just spent a lot of time and money over the last 7 years, really, developing the concept to where we have a museum like this one, which is about 700 square meters, 60 exhibits, and it's a really, really immersive, experiential visit for the visitors.
So we have actually 2 exhibits that are a little bit sensitive, like Tilted Room, this one, and this Vortex Tunnel. Vortex Tunnel is actually our most popular exhibit. So it's a tunnel that rotates. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you go inside, you kind of feel like you've been drunk for a week. Yeah, that's like the feeling because your balance and your visuals are actually fighting in your brain, so they cannot decide whether to go straight or just follow the tunnel.
Let me tell you now that Vortex Tunnel is a hit. I was unsteady on my feet and Thelmaine had the same experience.
The tunnel.
Your tunnel, it's like tricking your mind. It's like you're falling from Everest somewhere down. So the tunnel was...
I think it's very important to try and make it appealing to South Africans and to feel at home. I actually chose these colours because they are the colours similar to the national sports teams. So Nelson Mandela's a hero of mine, I think the whole of South Africa. He's an incredible individual that not was only admired because of his leadership, but also because of his vision. And he knew that basically education is the most powerful weapon in the world, which can change the world. And I hope this museum brings a bit of that to South Africa. I really do believe that education can change South Africa and bring people out of poverty and make it a better place and realize what Nelson Mandela vision for South Africa.
If you're looking for a space to bring out the kid in you, this is one like no other. Your eyes will widen with wonder and you may squint as you change your perception, taking in all of these illusions. You will absolutely love it. It's something suitable for the whole family. Trust me, you will enjoy it. So get out of your comfort zone and look at life from a different perspective.
Yeah, no, see, now that museum is one that I actually have to go and check out. At Trendz on SABC is where you can find us on X, so please do the right thing and engage with us over there. Now, onto a historical journey. Did you know that blockhouses were used by soldiers as fortresses to safeguard vital assets from potential enemy attacks? Well, these unique structures were also erected just a stone throw away from Johannesburg during the Anglo Boer War, and some have been reconstructed in the original positions on the same trail from about 120 years ago. So hariboneng, because Trendz live producer Ngemva Kokuqubuka-After joined a historical tour guide on a hiking trail to discover some of these blockhouses.
Hi guys, we are in Broederstroom on the outskirts of Johannesburg, about to embark on a very exciting hike. Our starting spot begins at the Blockhouse Museum. You see, on this trail we find blockhouses which were used as security shelters for military soldiers who used to fight in the Anglo Boer War. Jonah, won't you give us a sense of what was happening during the war in this area?
So at that time there was an influx of British soldiers, and as the British were advancing towards Pretoria, the Boers were doing delaying tactics, and after the ambush that took place on June in 1900, the British really fortified this supply route so that there wouldn't be an ambush again.
What made it necessary for them to build blockhouses?
So the blockhouses were structurally a place of protection for the soldiers, and they were defensive lines.
Over the years, you've managed to retrieve many things which the soldiers left behind after the war. Tell us about some of them.
Over the years, as we've been walking this trail, the soldiers discarded a lot of supplies that they were given. They were dropping things left, right and center. So there's been a lot of bottles, a lot of beer bottles, ginger ale bottles, anything associated with drinking. There were a number of horseshoes that were found. The biggest loss of life was the horses in this battle that took place here.
And off we go as hikers on a rather bumpy historical trail. This to get a sense of the activities which took place on this very narrow path during the war, roughly 124 years ago.
This is an ancient trail that was done by the people, the village people that used to stay here. It was used as a trade route. The way it was designed by the villagers, it was also a way that they could sustain themselves whilst they're here. I mean, to give you an example, we had the likes of your dragon fruit growing around here. We have the likes of your prickly pear growing, and some of the indigenous medicine plants that grew here.
It's called a mule trail. What was the purpose of the mules those days on this trail?
They would use a donkey, which today known as mules, to carry a very lot of like heavy goods. So having to carry things from Nzansi and bringing them up. Some of them could only do it to a certain point, as then it keeps going up.
And the higher up we went, the more we felt the intensity of the trail. So getting to the next blockhouse was indeed a massive relief.
These were little sentinels, they were protection points, and they used corrugated iron, and they had sandstone bases, They all had an east-facing entrance. These were corrugated structures. They weren't ideal because of the lightning, so they attracted lightning. This specific structure has been reconstructed on the site. The sandbags were filled with sandstone, and they were armor protective, as the corrugated iron had no protection against the bullet. So the holes in the structures are actually loopholes, and they were designed for the soldiers to be able to weight their guns on and be a lookout.
When the war started, the locals were very helpful in providing the all-important labor, although it was called a white man's war. That's totally a myth and a lie. So the locals were very helpful in, giving positions. Being up here, it's quite amazing, and bringing, I can imagine, holding all the materials up here. It must have been tough work. So I'm admiring all the structures.
Ever wondered how the soldiers knew when to fire or cease fire? Well, here's their brilliant way of communicating.
They used a means of communication, like a Morse code. It was using a heliograph, using a mirror. There were specific points that the heliograph used, and we could communicate from Johannesburg all the way through using the signaling.
Downhill was a lot easier, of course, and here's what those who courageously completed the hike had to say.
It was very exciting. I was fascinated about the structures that were used during wartime. It clearly took a lot of strength, courage for them to come together, work together to build these shacks. They look very old. To think that it holds such an amazing South African history.
Walking on these trails, one is always reminded of the hardships that the Achterrijers had to endure, the spies, the messengers, the labor involved. So, hats off to the men and also the women who are not mentioned.
Resilient guardians that stood firm during the Anglo Boer War. Now this hike was certainly a worthwhile expedition of unveiling the legacy of Blockhouses.
Taught me never let go on a good thing. Baby, you got what I want. Oh, touch me. Baby, you got what I need. Ooh, love me. Do what you wanna do with me. say I'm sorry. Loving you has taught me never to lie.
What a beautiful performance. Sheesh. It was in the 1970s when an Afrofusion ensemble emerged right here from South Africa. They've gone on to be a national treasure with sold-out concerts and platinum award-winning albums. With a name that is a direct Nguni translation for train. Like a phoenix, Stimela rise up from its ashes again, and they've released a new single titled Juju. From world stages to gracing us tonight here on Trendz Live, please help me welcome the iconic Stimela. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I am so ecstatic to have you here, and I know my parents at home are very, very jealous. I've got you in studio with me today.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, it's been 7 years that you've taken a hiatus, and now you're back. Where have you been?
Well, we needed to heal. Stimela went through a lot. As you say, it's been a very difficult 7 years because we lost our leader, Chikapa Piri, in 2017. It's been a difficult 5 years. We lost another iconic member of the group, Isaac Mjali, in 2019. It's been a difficult 3 years. We lost one of the best keyboard players in the country, Thabo Lloyd Lilusa, in 2021.
Sure.
So it's been a rough time for us. And yeah, we're here today, like you said, Stimela out of the ashes.
And we are so excited that you are here and that you've healed. And I'm sure, you know, the healing is going to still take some time because the loss is not something you just get over in a couple of years. But the fact that you guys are still together, stronger, better than ever, makes me so excited. But I have to ask, when you think about making new music without your leaders and the past members, how was that? Was it difficult creating new music without them being a part of this?
No, it's not difficult because we learned so much there to these guys. We passed away. We learned so much. We rehearsed together, going to studio together.
Yeah.
So we learned so much because we're still pushing.
All you were doing is just using your memories and all like the past experiences to come together for this new project. That's so exciting. Let's actually speak about this new project. The single is titled Juju. What's the song about? Who did you guys work with on the track?
You know what happens when matters of the heart strike? You feel like you've been bewitched. So here's a love-struck young guy who's saying, no, the things that I'm feeling, I've never been to this part of me. What's going on?
What's going on?
And somehow he thinks, no, this must be Juju. You know, it's that kind of a setup. But then you bring it home. It's part of what we went through as a band. You see, the pedagogy when you are being inducted into the Stimela way of things is such that you write the lyrics, but underneath, it's like you're peeling an onion. Then when you get deeper, you begin to understand that it's what has been haunting us because the fans, the Stimela family members have been saying, Ningajindi Majita. So we've been haunted by that. Hence we felt the need to rise and say, guys, as we let's give them what they want. They want Stimela. The Stimela is the people's band.
It's the people's. And we want Stimela, and you guys are here right now, which is so exciting. I mean, you speak about the fact that you've got such amazing fans and so much love and support around, you know, what you've been doing as a group. You've been in this group since basically inception, you know, longest member in the group. When you think about where Stimela started to where you are guys today, how does that make you feel?
No. Ngiyabamisa kakhulu, ngiyabamisa. Engizokusho nje nabheka samba nabo young span. Isebenza nabo abosizwe, abompho, abosipho. Kusizimandisa kudala kuStimela, ngamthola kuStimela even.
With the most beautiful voice. Oh man.
So, noxolo.
We're so blessed to have you guys here.
So I think so uNkulunkulu sasibekile and then saya phambili.
I know siyambonga ukuthi unibekile. I mean, Sam, you took over the reins. And what was that moment like when it was saying that you are now going to take this train and move it forward? How did that make you feel in that moment?
It's in ngesiswati kuthiwa khula utakubona.
Hey, okay.
So I was never told. I remember, yes, there were times when Ray would say, I want you to learn so that when I'm gone, because he would say it. Not only him, Sizwe came, joined us in 2016 when we were recording Catch the Train.
Yes.
And he was inducted by no lesser than Isaac Mnamjali, the great Isaac Mnamjali. So for me, you begin to look at this institution and then you think, am I worthy? Do I have it in me?
Sure.
But the people out there say, we believe in you. That's what's humbling. And we are grateful for them. Stimela is for them. We serve them. For as long as they want us to be here, we shall continue the legacy. Because Stimela is a national treasure. Is a national heritage.
100%. And we are glad that we're going to have many more years of Stimela and the fact that there's other kids that you guys are grooming and you're mentoring and you're working with. I love that that's such an important thing to the group as Stimela. Why is it so important to actually mentor and groom? And you know, given the fact that next week is Nelson Mandela Day, are there any initiatives that you guys are going to be a part of?
You ask why it's important. We are standing here because those who went before us gave us a platform.
Oh, pass the baton.
But pass it on. Mpo has just joined us,
Okay.
and he's contributed immensely to the new project that we're working on. You can see some of our brothers are not here, but
Yeah.
they're still around. The thing is, Stimela always has had this thing of incubating its own. They grow into the Stimela way of doing things. So for us, seeing the newer musicians, creatives saying we want to put our shoulder to the wheel, it makes us feel, you know, when the time comes for us to pass, we'll also pass, you know, at peace, knowing that the national treasure
is in good
hands.
Oh man, I love that. And as I was asking about just Nelson Mandela Day next week, is there any initiatives that you guys are going to be involved in as a group?
What we're trying to do, we are trying to reach out to a community project, social groups, so that we can be a part of the activities that are happening. Because Mandela Day should not only be about that one day.
Yes.
It's something that should be ongoing. That's what we're trying to do. We're looking at having a launch in Bombela,
Oh, exciting
where
stuff.
3/4 of the founding members of this group came from. So, as part of those activities, with looking at empowering younger people in whatever spaces they are in, but to say whatever that you have, be it sport, music, arts, whatever it is, you can be the best at that.
And you guys are definitely the best. And in wrapping things up,
He's actually a music tutor.
Okay.
So you understand that we've got people here who are already impacting on the community.
Oh man, I love it. And in wrapping things up, I have to ask about this new project. Can we be celebrating this milestone with a brand new album? Is there an EP in the works?
Hunali EP in the works.
Yes, EP, I think. I want to know more about it.
No, we definitely, but I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise because something huge is coming. I know she's somewhere watching. She's featured.
I talking about the nothing guy.
You see, you are bad.
I know these things. I know these things. I could speak to you guys all day.
Yeah,
But
so
you guys were here. Thank you so much. And oh man, Nasi Stimela and the train movement continues. I'm so honored to have had you all in studio with me today. But to you at home, please stick around because the performance of their new single Juju is coming your way right here on Trendz Live, SABC News Channel 404. Take it away. Thank you.
Like Coca-Cola, I must be like. Now because of you, my life they sweet. Now because I get to you, I they feel like Olongo. Your love they turn my head. Now when I see your face, I feel they forget my sorrow. My love for you, don't get too late. like a juju song, messing with my head. She's an African queen, so they sent a doctor. They said I'm losing my mind. Doctor, can you please tell me, am I sick or it's juju? This is juju. What kind of feeling is this? This is juju. Doctor, can you please help me? This is juju. I'm in love so deep. This is juju. Khuluma nabo nyamakayishi, isha ngababhebhezeli. Ay, 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 ay. Yo. Someone called a preacher, see if he could pray for me. He looked at me and said, son, you need it.
At Trendz on SABC is where you can find us on X. So please let us keep the conversation going over there and all our social media platforms. Art galleries are platforms for artists to interrogate strong narratives through various art forms. Internationally acclaimed artist Bambo Sibiya is back on homeground soil with a solo exhibition titled Ngemva Kokuqubuka-After Precarity. Hey, Sokhoa. The artwork displayed at the Circa Gallery in Rosebank, Johannesburg, promises to be an equilibrium of chaos and order, beauty and resistance. Trendz live producer Ngemva Kokuqubuka-After was back at it again and explored the exhibition. Let's get more.
A powerful body of work that imagines a restorative and redemptive world. After 7 years of not displaying his craft in a solo exhibition, Bambo Sibiya's work transcends the representation of the black female. This a narrative very close to his heart.
The idea of this exhibition actually came from the idea of celebrating my mom initially. I looked at her domestic worker's uniform and I felt like, you know, that dress has no place at home. It is degrading. It just has nothing good about it. So, but like also looking at that dress, I feel like it's a superhero's uniform. So I felt like, you know, she needs to transform into even like a better hero that she is. So I took that one dress, redesigned it, elevated the dress, gave it more beauty, more power. I had to look at what defines her best. Usually people associate the blue color with sadness, you know, with men or other boys. But for me, a blue color is a color of the sky, which can be very welcoming, can be very, very soft. She's like that. She can be soft, she can be powerful, she can be aggressive. She's one woman that encompasses all of that. You know, those are her strengths.
Conceptualizing the exhibition required someone to assist with transforming domestic worker uniforms into exquisite outfits before translating them onto canvas. So Bambo found it befitting to bring aboard his fashion designer friend.
This represents the apron of the domestic worker. But because we respect that woman, she's got silk on her shoulders. They were really what built us to be who we are. Therefore, we wanted to celebrate them in a way that says, I'm luxury. So yeah, that's what happened with this one. We're using a lot of silk, a lot of laces, a lot of Duchess satins.
How do you feel about the way Bambo managed to transform this and put it on canvas.
It's very exciting, it's got a lot of prints on top of another print on top of another print, and how he transformed the lace into the paintings, the fabric, the parsley print on the clothing. It came out like I couldn't believe it myself.
The exhibition doesn't shy away from depicting the complexities of the Black experience. It also challenges the dominant narratives that have historically marginalized and dehumanized Black communities. It's evident that gallery enthusiasts are left in awe of Bambo's work.
I love the way in which he's incorporated pinks, and it's such a feminine combination of that blue and that pink.
It really opened my eyes, especially this art. I got a new meaning of how women are powerful.
I love the skin color of the woman, and I love the fact that he used blue, because when I thought about blue, I thought about royalty. I thought about that women can be able to empower, they can be able to be in charge.
I think it tries to bring the African culture for everyone to be able to see the colors, the vibrancy, many of the aspects that are known for some other cultures, for some other races, about what the African culture means. I think it's brought up to like a pedestal.
Having a male, talking about women, it's not necessary. I mean, it's not always easy, and you can easily get it wrong or provoke, people.
Indeed, an insertion of the feminine figure into luxurious planes of geometric forms.
The cadences of tonight's show have been my absolute favorites, and I hope that you at home have enjoyed tonight's show. But having to say goodbye is always the worst part, because honestly, I could spend all night with you. But I have to say a big thank you to the team for making the show exactly what it is. But most importantly, thank you to you at home for tuning in. Until we meet again next week, Friday, 8 p.m. sharp, right here on SABC News Channel 404. This is Trendz Live, and I am Candy. Stay sweet. Bye.